Hi, this is Nick995. Merry Christmas to anybody who sees this video. For this video, I just want to talk more. I just want to expand on what is it that makes a game great. And this is gonna be like I'm trying to make this like under 6 minutes. Yeah. So like the first thing I want to talk about is immersion. The immersion of a game. Immersion comes out with story. The better the story, the more immersive your game will feel. The game you're playing will feel. So like for example, God of War, Red Dead 2, that world felt so immersive. The story, it added so many layers to the story, the characters, the motivation of the characters they have story arcs, even the NPCs and people like Inner Camp in Red Dead 2, they have story arcs. Other games with great stories, Infamous 2, God of War 2, GTA 5, Last of Us 1, Uncharted. This goes on and on. So great story adds to the immersion. Another thing too, the great combat too as well, like light, heavy. A lot of even hack and slash games like Devil May Cry or God of War or even Metal Gear Rising, where it's like light, heavy attack. So like we new God of War games, like every attack feels like like you're really doing something. Like it feels so real, and part of that is the graphics and the impact between every hit. It feels so real. The open world as well goes with the immersion. Open worlds that are huge and that have a lot there is where there's lots to see. Not only like where there's lots to do, but lots to see. You got massive scale areas, and there's lots of loot. There's lots of different creatures, lots of different enemies within this big world. That also adds more to the immersion of a game. Another category I want to go into, not story, mechanics, gameplay mechanics. This is kind of hard to quantify, but it's like how well the character moves, or how well the attacks feel, or does a certain gameplay mechanic feel outdated, or But anyways, you're basically like when you run. Okay, for example, like when you play Metal Gear Solid 5, for any of you who played it, every time you run, it feels real. It feels so real. That's how you do running, like in a video game, like where you're just running. It doesn't feel like nothing is holding you back. Same thing with God of War 4 here. Like when Kratos runs, I feel like there's nothing holding you back. Like you're not running on, like you're not running on ice or whatever. Again, that goes back to how well like every single attack, like here God of War, it's light, heavy, or heavy, light. There's light, heavy. Like every single attack feels like you're doing something impactful. It adds value. Another thing is, mechanics can kind of be glitches. I guess I could add glitches in there, like a lack of glitches. So lack of glitches or bugs in the game as well. Another category I want to talk about is things to do. Like this is probably the most important thing, or a core gameplay. Progression goes along with this too. But you want to have a lot of enemy variety. Like when you're playing a fighting game, hack and slash, or open world action RPG, like you want to have lots of different enemy types. God of War 4 or Witcher 3 will have trolls. You'll be fighting trolls. You'll be fighting like wyverns, which is kind of like a smaller dragon. You'll be fighting vampires. You'll be fighting wraiths, ghosts, all sorts of things, right? So there's many different enemy designs. And even like if you're even like if the fighting game, the fighting motion might not feel realistic, having like like a big, like lots of variety like of enemies can really add to the experience. Also too, another thing too, making sure always using the most out of your abilities that you get in the game. Destroy all humans one, I believe. Oh no, Red Faction. I believe it's Armageddon. Came out 2012, long time. Okay, a while back. But anyways, that game had a mechanic where you can basically repair structures in the game. But like you don't really use that. Like you don't really. It feels like you didn't really use that as much. There's also things where you'll get like a certain ability late in the game, but it won't really. It'll be to the point where okay, why couldn't I get this earlier in the game when I could have had more fun like with this ability. Infamous One, for example, like when you're summoning lightning in Infamous One, like actual lightning storm, you don't get that like until late in the game, and it's like by the time you get that, there's only like 2 missions left. It's like what the hell? Especially if there's no new game plus, it can be very annoying. That goes with the play style, like how you want to play, your tendencies, how you adapt to certain enemies. But yeah, you want to use the most out of your abilities that you're given, or weapons or whatever. And another thing, last thing, the game doesn't feel boring. And this all goes with everything that I mentioned: immersion, the gameplay mechanics, the core gameplay, the enemy variety. Another thing too, I forgot the open world doesn't feel empty. It doesn't feel like it's the open world isn't just big, and isn't just this big sandbox where you can where like it just feels empty. There's not much life to it. The NPCs feel bland. But the open world will feel like like you want to be there. Like the immersion of the open world. Like this all goes back to immersion. The open world has to feel immersive, like it's the actual real place. Well, anyways, guys, this is a little side video about how what I think makes a game good or great. I'm thinking my next video, I'm gonna talk more about Marvel Avengers. Anyways, guys, Merry Christmas again. Please like, subscribe, share the video. Please share if you can. Thank you.